All right, fam. What is up? What is happening? This is the Collectin and Connectin Podcast. I'm personally very stoked to be back. We have the mayor himself, Treaticus, in the house, and a very, very, very special guest. Very much looking forward to talking to this gentleman about a myriad of things, WNBA included, but the MacAttack, Mac Sauce, the Mac Life, Mac to the future. How are we doing today, guys?
Good.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
Glad you're here, brother.
Heck yes. So let's just address the quote unquote elephant in the room, so to speak. It's kind of a big day. We've got the NBA playoffs going on. Mavs are coming down, playing the Clippers. That's going to be fun. We'll talk about that later. But Caitlin Clark makes her WNBA debut tonight. And I, for one, am beyond excited. I can't think of a better person to discuss this with than Mr. Mac himself. What would you where should we start? Let's just say you're introducing this to a casual fan. Maybe they don't know much about the NBA. They heard something about Caitlin Clark. What would you tell them?
Caitlin Clark is a massive movement, first of all. Just speaking in terms of basketball, I mean, she is selling out arenas like crazy. I mean, this is a preseason game. She's making her preseason debut tonight. I guarantee you there's going to be chaos in that arena. No clue how many minutes she's going to play. But, I mean, think of it like, when you've got Wemby, we have Wemby in the NBA. That is pretty much the equivalent to the hype. I'm not saying that she is Wemby talent-wise, but the hype for WNBA, they have her, that same hype train is rolling at the equivalent of Wemby, which is insane. You love to see it.
Did I hear correctly that they've actually had to, some teams that she's going to play road games at, they had to move arenas to bigger arenas because they're already selling out arenas because of Caitlin Clark?
Yes, 100%. And it's not even just the stadiums. So yes, the Aces have moved stadiums. The Sun, I believe, has moved their stadium. The games for their where they're changing the venue. Same with the Dallas Wings regular season game. They're gonna change that venue. I don't know if it's gonna be every game, but at least the first game that the Fever play at those arenas, there'll be a different spot. But it's not even just that. Media coverage. So the Fever had 0, maybe 1 nationally televised games last year. All but 2 of their home games will be televised nationally this year.
Speaking of media coverage, hey, ThunderHour.
Can you guys hear me all right?
We can hear you, man. We can hear you.
You made it. The man, the myth, the legend is in the house.
I was trying to do StreamYard in Chrome, and for some reason I could not get my camera to work.
It happens.
And so I had to download Firefox and
Hey, you made it. That's what matters. So the phenomenon of Caitlin Clark, people are comparing this duo that are coming into the WNBA right now with Bird and Magic is the word, right? It's going to be a whole new era of women's basketball because of these ladies.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way it seems.
Absolutely.
I mean, my attention is by far the most it's ever been on the women's basketball, and my daughter, who's 14 years old. Wait, how old is my daughter? Yes, she just turned 15. She's just gotten really into basketball, and she's all into this.
Good,
all into the Caitlin Clark of it all, and the tournament and the draft. We watched the draft, all that. So
nice.
Yeah. What would you? I think the most important thing right now is, and of course, Caitlin Clark signed her contract, and we don't need to get into the minutia of that. And there was some criticism, I think, from people who don't really understand the dynamics of how this stuff works and where the WNBA is as far as relative to age of its league. It's basically, as Treat alluded to earlier, in the pre-Magic, pre-Bird era. And we might have a little something developing. I don't know if you guys watched the NCAA tournament, the women's tournament specifically, or kind of saw the rivalry bubbling up between LSU and South. Well, that's been going on for a few years now. But we have legit, I mean, like, not that there weren't personalities before, but I think there's more emphasis on promoting these personalities, whether you love them or hate them. I think it's good for the game either way. And I'd like to kind of get Mac's take on rookies he's looking forward to seeing that aren't named Caitlin Clark. Because I think we've got a really good opportunity here. The Angel Reeses of the world. There are a lot of naysayers. I think she's great personally. I love that, it's got people's attention on the game. And if that's your new Magic and Larry that kind of kicks this whole thing off, then we're in for a treat.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this draft was pretty stacked. It's a situation where it could have gone south very quickly because of these COVID year eligibilities and things like that. There were a lot of people that could have potentially stayed. There were also, it could have gone even crazier, and people that could have declared that didn't. But I'm extremely excited for the Sparks this year, getting the number 2 pick, Cameron Brink. She's going to be stellar. And then also my girl, Rakia Jackson from Tennessee. She's going to tear it up, guys. I'm telling you, she's going to do the Tennessee Volunteer legacy in LA proud for sure.
Nice.
But that, and then, like you said, Angel Reese, I mean, Chicago's going to be, they're rebuilding, but they're going to be nasty too. They got Cardoso out of South Carolina, and they got Angel Reese. They're going to be tough. And I don't know how in tune you guys are with WNBA Twitter, but Angel Reese has come out and like, look, I know I'm a rookie, but I'm going to push you all, and I'm going to be a vocal leader, and you're just going to have to deal with it. Like, I know I'm a rookie, I know my place, but if I'm going to push you all to be better, so
nice.
You got to appreciate that.
You got to love that.
Yeah, I love it. Is it kind of a passing of the torch then with Candace Parker retiring? I know that she wasn't with the Sparks most recently, but is it just kind of a general passing the torch to Rakia Jackson at that point, Tennessee to Tennessee, as far as the next Tennessee superstar?
I mean, from a Tennessee fan, it feels like that for sure. For sure. I mean, you know, Candace announced her retirement this week. I had to go up in my attic and pull out. I've got a collector's edition of Sports Illustrated from when they won the title. I've got the team schedule from her first year there. So I had to pull that out and just kind of go back through the archives. But it definitely feels like that. It feels like, especially because Candace started her WNBA journey with LA and Rakia going there. It's going to be really interesting to see any parallels if they, present themselves.
Nice. That's a really good insight there on but you're starting to see, I guess, that kind of view of the WNBA where you've got some legendary players that help build the thing, and now we're looks like we're heading in a whole new era of hopefully some profit for these ladies. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Tork, like you had kind of alluded to with like contracts and things. Like, this is a very young league.
Yeah.
This is the 28th season, if I'm not mistaken. And think of where the NBA was, in their 28th season. There were many times where the NBA looked like they weren't going to make it either, and they pushed through, celebrating close to 80 years. So,
very close.
The big thing is. Yeah,
the NBA,
and the big thing is it just takes a couple of faces. It takes a couple of faces to spark interest. It was Bird Magic, Michael Jordan, that whole era. The I call it the attitude era of the NBA. That whole era really sparked the snowball. Honestly, and I feel like we're getting there with the W. It's people just need to pump the brakes. Don't troll too hard. Yes, the contracts suck, but the contract sucked back then for the NBA too.
Right.
Well, I mean, the contracts, I think you got to look at like the off the court stuff too, right? So Caitlin Clark just signed like what, $7 million a year with Nike, or $8 million. So, I mean, there's definitely money there,
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, and she's got Gatorade, she's got State Farm. She'll be fine. I mean, all of the people that the top of the draft that's really anchored themselves and show out, they'll all be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to remember the trickle down effect of what she's doing as well is that, and I'll use, there was an NBA player this year, and I apologize, forget his name, but he needed one more year of eligibility to get health, Medicare or medical benefits. And he has a couple kids with special needs, and he really needed those medical benefits. This is kind of a journeyman NBA player. And my point being the trickle down effect from what Caitlin Clark's doing is it generates more revenue in total for the player sharing pool, et cetera. And so it's just a first step in the right direction, in my humble opinion. And I can't wait to see where it goes from there. I mean, we have other personalities in the pipeline, so to speak. I mean, the Flau'jae Johnsons of the world, who I absolutely love her game. Malaysia Fulwiley, Paige Beckers. I mean, like there's more coming, and they can all ball. I mean, like they are amazing basketball players first and foremost. And that's what I love about this attention on Caitlin Clark is that she welcomes it and understands her role as the ambassador, but also kind of like deflects some of it to be like, hey guys, there's also a lot of other really good players over here, and just, bringing everybody, a rising tide lifts all boats. So very much looking forward to what's going on this year.
For sure.
Can't wait.
Yep.
Yeah. I've said it all off season. The WNBA is getting handed the bag. They just can't fumble it. Like they are getting handed the silver platter. Just treat it well. And if they do that, if they don't make any major mistakes, it's gonna grow anyways. But WNBA really needs to step up and handle it appropriately. Take care of business.
One thing you guys might have already touched on this, but I thought was huge for the WNBA was the Steph versus Sabrina at All-Star game.
That's great.
I mean, that was, to me, that was one of the bigger, things that we've seen from the WNBA and women's sports, and just elevating, Sabrina's like, I'm going to take you on, Steph. And she put up a fight, she honestly almost won. So it was like, I thought that was really cool. And I think that was a way to bring in, why not do more of that stuff? I don't know what it looks like, but that's definitely one way to do it.
Was that our generation's
sure.
Treat? Help me out here, because you remember back to like 1904. Was that our generation's like what was it? Billie Jean King versus McEnroe?
She didn't play McEnroe.
Was it Jimmy Connors?
No, she the guy she played.
It was some no-name guy.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Because those two, McEnroe and Jimmy Connors, would have known better.
Yeah, they would have known better. That guy was just running his mouth, and she could have shut his ass up.
I'm sorry for the Depression era reference, Treat. My bad.
It doesn't hurt my feelings, man. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
Hey, shout out Billie Jean.
Yeah,
shout out Billie Jean. Shout out Billie Jean.
I feel like I'm just hitting my prime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, you got a new deal. It's all good. Anyway,
you are hitting your prime. Look at that sign behind you.
That's what I'm talking about.
And for those who aren't watching us on YouTube or wherever you might get your Collectin and Connectin stuff, there is a beautiful blue sign that says "Treat for Mayor." And it should. I'm honestly kind of disappointed at this point you haven't crossed it out, and there's not like a graffiti, like an X that says "Treat is Mayor." Because credit where it's due.
No, it's I like it. It looks good. It looks like victory.
No success.
Victory. Yeah, you've got the Celtics jersey in the background. We know the Celtics are doing stuff. I guess it might be appropriate, given his name is ThunderHour, to bring up the Thunder and what they've got going on. It must be a really good feeling to be a Thunder fan right now, and not just because they're playing well, but the camaraderie they seem to have. They got a lot of chemistry going on. Like, they seem to really like playing together. Am I right?
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. This is got to be the most fun team that I've witnessed for the Thunder. I mean, just the way they do these post-game interviews. I'm sure you've seen that. The barking, just everybody kind of just
the barking. Where did that come from?
I don't know exactly for sure where it came from, but basically Jalen Williams, J-Dub, he, after one of the games, like, they just kind of huddled around and like, we got dogs, and they just start barking, and that just became a thing. And now it's such a thing that, like, throughout the whole season, I went to many games, but it really never came up during games. Like, but now the first 2 playoff games I went to, the crowd barks anytime he does something good. And I'm talking like the whole crowd.
Awesome.
Yeah, you can, you can, it's crazy. And so both Jalen Williams, I think it's kind of from those 2 guys, kind of the ones that started it.
Fort Smith, Arkansas, right?
Exactly. Yep. And so, yeah, those 2 kind of started it. And I don't know, it's just become a really cool team building thing, I mean, and then just that, them being so young is kind of fun. And then obviously the success they're having. I mean, sweep in the first round, number 1 seed, MVP candidates, coach of the year, all these different things. I mean, this is more than I ever really imagined for this season.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody saw. I mean, everybody thought they would be good. I'm with you. I don't think anybody saw this coming.
I mean, there was like an expectation that they were going to get better, but no expectation that, okay, we're going to be the number 1 seed,
right, Right. No, I was going to say Jalen's, the Arkansas Jalen, his senior year beat my high school, Bryant High School in the state finals. And, man, he was spectacular. And, of course, he had a great career with the Hogs. He's definitely an Arkansas favorite.
Yeah, he's honestly, he's a role player. He's not going to be a superstar, but he is the most lovable player on the team. Right. He's always smiling. Like I've never seen that guy not smile.
He loves the game.
He takes a charge, he smiles. He makes a turnover, he still kind of laughs it off and smiles. He dunks, he makes a 3, whatever. Like he's always happy, and like I don't know, like the team just seems to rally around him, which is great. You need those guys, you need the guys that kind of do their role and lift up the team.
He's always kind of been that way. And that is a definite perk, right, with Arkansas being so close to Oklahoma City. Just you're definitely getting the Arkansas love over there with the Thunder. Oh, yeah. I'm seeing more and more Thunder jerseys,
right? I mean, because it's either they're going to go east or north to like
you're going to go whatever. Right. You're gonna go Grizzlies, Mavs, or Thunder. And those are your 3. And what stinks is for whatever reason I can't get those games because they're all Bally.
No, they're all 3 of them are blacked out. You don't get it's not just one.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I can't all 3 of those.
I'm right there with you. I can't watch. I'm in Kentucky and I can't watch Hornets games. I'm like, North Carolina is several states away, but it's blacked out. Memphis, I can't watch. I have the same issue.
We need to fix that, NBA. Let your fans watch the games.
I think one of the new things they'll do with this new TV contracts is definitely make things a little bit more accessible. Whether it's, I mean, and when I say accessible, I don't necessarily mean like it's just going to be free, but
right.
But it's going to be like, hey, we're going to do League Pass. You might pay a tad of a premium if you want your team, but it's not going to be so absurd that you can't afford it either. So no, I'm living the basketball dream right now with the Thunder for sure.
Awesome.
So let me ask,
been to both playoff games so far. So
in terms of fun and in just love of the team, where does this team stack against the KD, Russ, Harden? Because this team seems like it's more fun-loving, laid-back, chill, whereas that team was more like, we're gonna win, we're gonna punch you in the throat. So where from a Thunder fan perspective, which team do you appreciate more?
Well, I will say first off, I didn't live in Oklahoma City for that first run. I moved to Oklahoma City the year they traded Harden, or the year after they traded Harden. So I did miss that as far as like being a big fan of the team. I wasn't really a fan of the Thunder before that. I of course knew who they were and followed it, but so I became a fan after that. Now I think, doesn't that a lot have to do with who the leaders of the team are and who the big stars are? I mean, look at Westbrook, the way he just operates, that dude's relentless. He's fierce. That's just the way he operates. And so I think That's probably a lot of it, but I know they definitely had that. They kind of had this Thunder University, they called it, or Thunder U, from that first, group of players, that first group of superstars. And this feels a lot similar, I'm guessing, to a lot of people. I've talked to a bunch of friends that are from here and were around for it all. They definitely say it feels similar. I mean, I think it was so hard for Thunder fans to, they got the team and they immediately became good.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of been that success way ever since, really. I mean, there's been very few down years. I mean, I've been here for over a decade now, and I think we've missed the playoffs 3 years, maybe. And so it's I mean, this is like my favorite team that we've had since I've been here. 2016, of course, the year that they blew the series to the Warriors, the 3-1 lead. That was, of course, a great fun team with title aspirations and all that. The Westbrook MVP year, when he had all those triple doubles, that was, I would say, as far as people loving the team and having so much fun, that was like a huge rallying point after losing KD. Okay. And I think that season was probably my second favorite season, because it was just so much fun every year, or every game, watching him get triple doubles. And he carried that team. I mean, it wasn't like a bunch of bums, but it was, there wasn't the second superstar with him, so it was kind of just the rush show, and it was a lot of fun.
Wow.
But
very cool.
Yeah. I'm just, now I'm kind of like letting go of the expectations, and let's see if we can win a championship this year. That's, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I mean,
let's go with the expectations, but let's go win a championship.
It's not happening this year, man. You gotta wait your turn.
Hey, we can play the Celtics in the finals, but we'll see what happens.
I mean, yeah, you can make it the finals, but come on, man. I mean,
hey, no. Like, for real, like, our biggest strength, I think, that people don't really talk about is our defense.
Yeah.
And I think, that's something that translates in the playoffs.
It does.
And just that, to me, seems to be what the best teams have. And it might be early, but I do think we're going to be competitive the whole way. It's not going to be something where we lay over. We just don't, when you have such great defense, you might muck up a game and it will be, 92-88 and we lose, but we're going to be competitive. Right. Is my expectation,
I think y'all got rid of that vibe when James Harden left.
What's that?
I think y'all got rid of that, like, we're just going to quit and lay down vibe when James Harden left.
Right. Yeah.
Just saying. I mean, at the very least, as you've experienced many NBA seasons where you root for your team, and only one team can win it every year. But I think the most important thing about, if I was a Thunder fan, is just enjoy the ride, as you said a moment ago, because that's a special team. The way they're playing together, and they might not win it. They might win it. I mean, I think they've got just as good a shot as anybody else. I hope they beat the Celtics if they see them in the finals.
What? Whoa.
But I love Jalen Williams. I love Jalen Williams. What I love most? The moment that sticks out to me the most about how they love the community. And I think Kevin Durant, shout out UT, hook 'em. When he got to Oklahoma City, he seemed to really, from what I understand, embrace the community, embrace some of the things that had happened recently when the franchise had first been formed, and kind of endear himself on a certain level when he first got there, at least. And this team seems to have done that. And one thing, and I know might be a silly metaphor to some people, but the other night, and I'm sure you saw this Thunder Hour, where here comes Allie LaForce, TNT broadcast, to interview the whole team, right? And they all get together, and then they see their local guy over on the side, and they're like, wait, hold on, no. We're done with you, TNT. We're going to our local guy first, and we're going to do a local broadcast before we do the national broadcast, because they get it. And I think little things like that go a long way into just the special nature of what is actually going on in OKC right now.
Yes,
yeah, for sure. I think that's a culture thing, right? It's kind of what the Thunder's been about. They still are. I mean, they've since I've been here, they are always community, really getting the players involved. And it's kind of one of the things they look at in the players that they draft. I mean, Sam Presti, I think it was a few years back, he says, you know, we don't just draft players, we draft people, you know, so like they value those things, you know, and I know that's cheesy maybe and whatnot, but like it seems to be true, you know, like they got guys that, I mean, even Westbrook, I think that dude's still giving back to this community. He hasn't been here for 5 years, you know, because this is where he, you know, grew up in the NBA and all that. And, you know, those guys, KD, as much as, you know, he bummed us out when he went to Golden State. Like, I think he's going to be looked back upon like as, you know, the guy that started it all, you know, and he'll probably, you know, his jersey will be retired and all those different things. And it is a lot about what's on the court. We've had great success, you know, never a championship yet, but great success in the playoffs and whatnot. But yeah, they've been, you know, successful in the community. I mean, I remember when I first moved here, there was a tornado that ripped through one of the cities and Durant just wrote a check for $1 million, you know, which was just insane. You know what I mean? And just some of that stuff that you see. And it's just fun. It's actually fun to be a fan when you know your team's kind of like that. You know, like you said, going to go, you know, talk with the local guy first, the local broadcaster, because that's who they see every day, right? You know, it's just like Treat. He's going to see his people every day, right?
Man,
you know?
people. That's right.
So, that's what you got to do, you know.
So we got OKC doing their thing in the West. Is and forgive me if I'm out of turn here, MacAttack, for asking this question. Is it safe to say that you're biggest Fever fan that I know, but does that fandom bleed over into the Pacers as well? Are you a Pacers fan? Are we excited about what's going on there?
I am a Pacers fan. I am extremely excited for this team. This team has been very exciting. It's been so long. Like they haven't won a playoff series in 10 years. This is the first playoff series they've won in 10 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
And I remember what's funny is I didn't start out a Pacers fan. I was just go to games because they were cheap, because the Pacers weren't that great. But then becoming a fan of Danny Granger, Roy Hibbert, Troy Murphy, Tyler Hansborough, and then just, you know, watching the evolution of the team's been really interesting, because those are all folks, you know, Danny Granger well past his prime by the end of it. And a lot of guys that, you know, just were vets. And now I get to see, you know, Hallie just tear it up, man. Hallie's incredible. I know the Kings had playoff success last year, and they could say that they won the trade. I think both teams won the trade, because Hallie has been so phenomenal as soon as he put on that Indiana jersey. And yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Hallie's my best friend for a lot of different reasons. Shout out Top Shot for letting me meet him. Shout out Lucky Cavaldo. Shout out Jacob. I got to shout out Pack Rip. Shout out everybody for that. But I want to get y'all's opinion. I know this is supposed to be evergreen, et cetera, but I want to put a little time capsule in our little Collectin and Connectin universe with this podcast and get y'all's opinion about what Patrick Beverley did at the end of the game last night.
Wow.
So to paint the picture, just basically Bucks have lost the game. They're about to get booted from the series. And camera pans over. I forget who was checking out of the game at the time, but there's an exchange where Patrick Beverley throws the ball, hits a woman in the head who wasn't looking at it. I guess the next fan who threw the ball back to him thought they were joking around, and he tosses it back, and then Beverley chunked it back at him. How are we feeling about that, guys? I need everybody's take, because that's hot.
That's the risk you run with Pat Bev on your team.
Yep, that's right.
That's the risk you run. You want him on that team he's got, you know, him, Draymond, that they have that energy. And that's a good defensive energy that you want. It's a contagious energy, but man, it's a bad look when it goes bad.
Yeah, it is.
First thing that comes to my mind is like, dude's an idiot. That's what I was
yeah.
I mean,
smart.
Right? Smart. I mean, like you can't, like, I mean, we're beyond the pale of like just like talking back and forth. And I don't know if you guys saw what was actually said that set him off was, and by the way, I don't know if you guys heard the heckling fan behind the camera the whole night, which was great, because we're not talking about some like obscene like nonsense. It's some stuff that if you're a player and you heard it, you'd be like, wait a minute. like Bobby Portis is at the free throw line. Hey, Bobby, your eyes are slightly bigger than the size of your head. And that would mess with me as an NBA player. But what set Pat Beverly off is, you get in the huddle and you're getting ready to go, all right, team on 3 or treat for mayor on 3, 1, 2, 3 break. And you say the slogan. In this case, it was a fan yelling at the huddle, all right, Cancun on 3, 1, 2, 3, Cancun.
That's funny.
And Beverly lost it. And I mean, look, here's the thing. If you're going to talk that much stuff, I'm all for you being that dude on the court. Be that guy. Be that character. Talk your stuff, all that. But if you lose, that's it. It's a wrap. Don't talk anymore. Take your L. Move on. That's all you can say. And then, go talk the next game because that's just who you are, and that's fine. But don't be throwing the ball at people's head. I mean, come on. What are we doing out here? Sounds like treats.
What's funny is what's funny is that reminds me of I went and saw the Mavs play the Pacers, and it was when one of the years that Rick Carlisle was the coach, and Rick Carlisle, when he had his hair, looked like Jim Carrey.
Yeah, he did.
And there was a fan that literally for an entire quarter was yelling Rick Carlisle, and Rick wouldn't turn around. And so finally he just screamed at the top of his lungs, Jim Carrey. And Rick was pissed. He was so mad. It was hilarious. That made him turn around. It was funny.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, hey,
about Rick Carlisle. That makes the Pacers a lot easier for me to root for because Mavs fan, that's my guy. He was the coach of our team at the time. Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite stories I've ever heard is from Jackie McMullen, wrote for your Boston Celtics. Is it the Boston Herald? Is that what it is?
So, yeah.
And she was interviewing. She was going to interview Larry Bird after one of their championships back during the Depression era. But anyway, and so Larry Bird basically is like, hey, you've talked to me before. You know what I'm going to say. I'm going to give you a canned response. That's the guy you want to talk to down there. And she looks down at the end of this, guy at the end of the locker room bench, and it's Rick Carlisle, who hadn't played but 2 minutes the whole series. Yeah. And she said, why do I want to talk to him for it? He didn't play at all. And Larry Bird said, that's the smartest basketball player out of all of us. He's going to win an NBA title as a coach one day. And I hope he does it in both conferences. And I think we'll see what happens with the Pacers. I don't know if anybody wants to see them right now the way Hallie's playing. That's for sure.
Yeah,
it's interesting because Rick hates playing rookies. He hated playing rookies in Dallas.
That's right.
And now he has no choice. Like the Pacers team is so young, he has no choice but to play these young guys. And it's interesting to see that.
But they've got, it's like the Thunder in some way, not as talented, but that young, hungry, right? An old reference, Eye of the Tiger kind of thing. Clubber Lang, a little bit of young upstarts ready to, and like Ant and the Timberwolves, right? There's just this, we're taking this, right? It's our turn. We're not waiting for anybody to give it to us. We're about to take it. But they're going to have to wait. This is the Celtics year. Like we're going to win. This is number 18. And so that's some of my Top Shot strategy is I'm really going to go out on the fandom side, not the rare side, because, I'm not well. I'm looking for those number 18 redemptions, right? That's what
Serial
I'm going
18.
For. Serial 18. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm going for in this.
Whoa,
calling your shot. I love it.
Some big brain stuff right there, Treat. Like I never. I'm a big serial. I'm a serial maxi. Like I love my drones. I love my repeater drones. Birthday cereals. I mean, all that. That's you probably shouldn't have said that on this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna try. I probably drove the price up, but that's what I care about the people. I care about the common collector.
What's the biggest difference between this year's team and last year's team, in your opinion?
Drew Holiday.
Okay.
That dude, man, people do not give him the credit he deserves for being such a great teammate and a nasty defender.
Made a huge sacrifice coming over.
He did.
I mean, he literally was like, I don't care about offense. He'll score if you need him to. But
yeah, like we talked about earlier, you get in those playoffs, man. You talk about having to lock teams down. I mean, that's the guy I want on my team. And, you know, obviously Marcus Smart was a hell of a defender, but I
y'all got two of them.
Drew,
y'all got him and Derek White now.
And Derek White, like together, man, it's just it's nasty on the defensive end, and that's
close to what it is. It's an abomination, and it's not fair. And the Celtics investigated.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
So you talked about collecting the Celtics fandom for the playoff sets on Top Shot. I've gone a little deep into that with the Thunder.
Going crazy, huh? You went down the rabbit hole.
I've not only got the fandoms, I got the rares.
Really? I just can't bring myself. It's $134 for a rare Celtic one right now.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily saying it's the best financial decision, but I'm having a ton of fun with this team. I mean, this team is so, so much fun. So I'm like, I gotta embrace it, right? I gotta embrace it on Top Shot, and that's what I've loved to collect this whole time is the Thunder, and I haven't had a playoff. You know, there was some bubble playoffs, but that doesn't really count. I wasn't able to go. Some of that stuff. Like I was able to attend Game 1, and now Shea's game winner is a rare moment.
That's different, man. That's different. If I could, attending those games. What do you guys? You're a sicko. That's what you guys. That's a Badge County. That's a Badge County word.
Yeah, we're definitely sickos.
You guys are really sickos.
Yeah, we are. County. It's not. I don't know. It's not for the faint of heart, right? It's like.
No, I mean that's
we talk it and breathe it and sleep it and eat it all day. It's everything.
Like your boy Samuel D's videos. I'm like, my goodness, the guy is breaking it down.
Yeah, he crushes it.
I can write. I'm like, I'm just gonna write a little ditty, and he's doing algebra.
Well, there is a secret that has never been shared. I'm actually the executive producer of those videos, So let's not give him all
the big brain. Alpha. That's what I'm talking about. Alpha. Right here.
It's actually not true. It's just something I make up, but it's fun.
No. Wait, we didn't hear any of that. That's going to be cut out of the show.
Okay. Take it back now.
Edit that out.
Alpha on the C&C, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
ThunderHour is executive producer of those.
I know he's reading the script you wrote.
Yeah,
you are the AI. You're the AI behind Badge County.
No, it's fun. I mean, he breaks it down, like especially with like these redemption stuff, and it's not always the easiest thing to follow, but it is a really cool thing to do with the playoffs. And my favorite part about the redemptions is like, for instance, that Halliburton game winner I think it was a game winner, or definitely a shot in the clutch.
Yeah.
Where he
just the overtime game, wasn't it?
Yep, it was.
It's gonna be the rare playoff moment. So like you can kind of go buy that redemption before the moment comes out, and you're like, this is cool. I know what I'm getting, right? You're like, this is, and that's what I love about Top Shot is that the actual moments. I mean, there's obviously a lot of things that I love, but I love the moments, and the playoffs is where it just all ramps up, right? Yep. And so it's something that I find to be a lot of fun. And I'm going for the whole Phantom set. I'm not going for the whole rare set, of course, but I'm going for the Thunder ones. And the Phantom set, I've got a lot of the 4 or 5 of all the contenders. Yeah, 4 or 5.
Whole Phantom set.
Oh yeah. I got every playoff set, every common playoff set there is. So 20, S2, S3, S4, and now this year. So it's my favorite set year to year. I like that they at least kept part of it accessible, because I can't really afford the rare whole set, but I can get a good snapshot of the playoffs through that Phantom set. And I think it'll be about 60 moments from the playoffs. And one thing I really liked that they did last year that they brought back is the Champions Reel. Mm-hmm. So it's basically, whoever wins the title, you're going to get a moment that's got all the best kind of stuff from that playoff run. Yeah. And, you just got to collect and lock whatever, like I think it's like 10 moments or 8 moments and 2 redemptions. And it's not super out of control as far as prices. So it's definitely one of those, but it's a special moment. I mean, to me, obviously winning the title, 17 of them, you're going on, 18 in a few years, but not this year. You'll be watching that Thunder one alongside with me here in a few months. So,
well, you got to keep in mind too, that
great collectible.
They're adapting the reels too this year, where, last year it was a little bit of similar footage that they had in some other moments, but this year they've said they're going to be using new footage, et cetera. And I would expect the same out of the Champions reel. So, it's a good time to, do redemptions. I think one point you mentioned about having the Tyrese Halliburton, if that's the rare moment, right? And you were to go out and buy the redemption, knowing that that's what you're going to get, you're kind of hedging your bet in a good way, in the sense that, God forbid, something better than that happens. Mm-hmm. And then you have that moment already just by owning the redemption.
Only better, right?
Kind of a win-win,
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you don't always know right away, but you definitely, when you see those moments, they kind of just stand out, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly. But it sets a standard, and so at least you're going to get a great moment, or you're going to get an even greater moment, or an even greater, and it just kind of goes from there. So that's why I love the redemption quality. But that's
a great point. Maybe I should grab that Celtics rare redemption just to hold on to it later in the playoffs, because this rounds is fine. It's a good play, but it was in a blowout, right?
Well, if you think that they're going to win the title, you got to have at least one, so you can find that best moment from the playoffs, right?
That's a good word.
So let's go ahead and put a marker down then, gentlemen, since we'll just get all the talking out of the way, and we'll revisit this in a couple weeks when the playoffs are done. Treat, you say it's time for number 18 for the Celtics. I disagree, very much so. Don't know who's going to win, but let's just say it's OKC and the Celtics in the finals. For the discussion of y'all two, what's that series looking like games wise? Are we going 6? We going 7?
Celtics and 6.
Oh yeah, of course he's going to say that. I'll say Thunder in 6, right?
Y'all are way more generous than me. I'm going Celtics in 5.
Wow, MacAttack. We barely met, but we're already. I'm catching strays.
I love this. I love this Thunder team. I love the Thunder team. My best friend is a Lakers fan. I need the Celtics to win.
Oh, okay. It always goes back to personal beef.
But this is what makes it great, though. I mean, this is a great time of year where we can sit here and we can talk our shit. We can banter back and forth, and we can have fun, celebrate history one way or the other. I can enjoy as a Mavericks fan, even though we're probably getting ready to play the OKC Thunder. I can't hate the Thunder. I love watching. I love good basketball, guys. And you know what? Damn it. The Celtics are playing good basketball. I love the way they play. I love Halliburton. I love the way the Pacers are playing. I love Jalen Williams. I know Shea gets all the love, but I love Jalen Williams. I love both Jalen Williams for that matter. But Santa Clara Jalen Williams for that matter. But love the way OKC's playing ball. I mean, it's an exciting time, man, for basketball. We once again got the WNBA tonight, guys. Watch the WNBA this season. It's going to be awesome. Any final thoughts before we wrap up, guys?
No, man, good times.
I think that this season in the NBA, we said it a couple times with a lot of the younger teams. They're like, is this our time? This has been the most fun season. Watching OKC, I mean, even watching Cleveland, they're not as young, but they're still young. They're fun to watch. It's been fun to watch these young teams, the T-Wolves and everybody, just kind of take off and claim their place in the zeitgeist of NBA fans.
For sure.
Zeitgeist.
The torch has been passed from the LeBrons, the Currys, the Durants, and it's to a new era, which is fun.
Which is crazy because all of those folks are still in the league. Those three you named, they're still there.
They're in the league, but they're out there.
The young guys are saying it's our time.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Love to see it, guys. I really appreciate y'all taking the time to be here. Treat the mayor, Mr. ThunderHour, Mr. MacAttack. Appreciate the insight. Guys, been the Collectin Connectin Podcast. It's been a beautiful day. Y'all have a great one, guys. Peace out.
Peace out.
Have a good one.